Yeah, we knew this was going to be a really tough game. I think what you see with Middle is their discipline on the offensive end, and then they really try to take you out of your strengths with their defense, and they did a really good job. Obviously, they made a lot of big shots that I thought were very timely. Well, they had different actions that got them open. To be quite honest with you, I think they had probably 3 or 4 threes off of loose balls. They had some threes off of offensive boards, and those are the ones that we got to clean that up. They do a great job executing, so you might give up 1 or 2 there, but they do. Their action was hard for some of our players to guard.
Kellie, I feel like your team had really kind of taken momentum before it took that 1-point lead. Just why do you feel like your team wasn't able to hold on to that?
Well, you've got to make plays on both ends of the court, and we'll go back and analyze each possession in that moment, how much we were up or down. I don't recall exactly in this moment, but we didn't get the stops. We didn't get the scores. I thought we took some bad shots, and our shot selection in those moments was not where it needed to be.
Karoline, what kind of led to your offensive efficiency tonight?
Obviously, we knew number 2 was going to sit in the paint, so I think that I was able to score kind of in that 15-foot three-point range pretty well because she wasn't up on me, so I think that I can credit it to that.
Coach, what did you see Karoline doing so well, and what did the rest of the offense not do so well?
Yeah, schematically we felt really good about what we could get for Karoline. She had a really good practice yesterday, knocking down those open shots and finding the exact same shots that we saw. So we anticipated that pretty well. We couldn't get rhythm with some of our other players. And we'll listen. We got to credit their defense for that. There's no doubt they did a great job, and we couldn't get around. We had a hard time getting around our one-on-one defenders, and then we didn't get a lot of ball movement.
I know you're down some key players tonight, and this kind of losing skid has been really tough. But just first loss in total history to Middle Tennessee. Where do you go from here? How do you bounce back?
Well, this one we've got to take some ownership, a little bit more ownership than we're taking in that locker room right now, to be quite honest with you. And I think we are we're trying to help them, but at some point they've got to step up and help themselves, and really challenging our team right now.
Coach, late in that fourth quarter, you were having a little trouble with their interior action. Do you think that was due to overemphasizing defending the 3, or do you think that was due to how they were playing?
Well, they have great balance, and going into the game, their leading scorer was their center. I mean, they do a great job of getting her the basketball and letting her go one-on-one. She doesn't have to play in a lot of double teams because you can't leave the shooters, so they have the personnel they have around her really works for her, and they do a really good job of being patient to find exactly what they want every possession.
Coach, how did you feel the preparation coming into this game was? Do you feel like maybe the team maybe looked into your defense tonight?
I thought our preparation was pretty good. I did not think we overlooked them by no stretch of the imagination. I know. We knew how good they were. We tried to make sure that our players knew that as well. We understood. I thought we did a good job in the first half and into the third quarter of guarding their actions. I thought we did a good job. It was the loose balls, offensive boards that really hurt us for the majority of that game. We had some breakdowns there late in their actions, and that was all of our preparation. I thought we had a really good prep in guarding their actions. Offensively, we tried to anticipate what we were going to see and how they were going to really attack our team.
Go first and before after that. Coach, you said you wanted the team to take ownership of a lot
Well, I think they've really got to individually. They've got to look inside themselves and see where each person can get better. We're as a staff, we continue to help them and continue to work with them every day. There's got to be some gut checks right now.
You had a lot of different lineups up there with short post rotation tonight, foul trouble, saw some four-guard lineups. Did you feel like sometimes hands were tied a little bit with what lineups you could run out there?
Yeah, there were a few lineups that I didn't love there in the first half due to foul trouble and a short post rotation. We knew we were going to have a tough game, so we wanted these players to. We didn't want to have them with more than two going into halftime, and I thought we managed it okay. But there were a few combinations that probably weren't our best to be out there. We did a little bit better job of that, I thought, in the second half. We're okay going small. That's okay, but. Some of the combinations didn't give us a flow that we needed.
Coach, another game getting out rebounded. What did you make of that rebound performance tonight, and how do you improve on it?
When I said we got to take some ownership, that's one of the areas. Our rebounding, we emphasize it, we practice it, we work on it every single day, and we've got to start making some strides on the court in games.
Karoline, coming back to your home state and having a career high, is there some extra motivation coming back to Alabama and playing? Or?
Honestly, I never make my way up here because I'm about 5 hours down south, but it did feel good to kind of be on my home turf and look up and see a lot of people that I knew from Sarah's hometown, and my old AAU coach was here too, so that was cool to see him.
Julie, the concussion protocol, do you expect her back soon?
I'm not sure. That will when you get in that concussion protocol, it is 100% day to day, and we'll see how that goes.
Rukia, how was she able to do in practice?
No, I shouldn't say no. A little bit. She's starting to progress a little bit more each day, but we're still monitoring her situation and hope to get her back sooner rather than later.
First, second quarter. Coach, in some of those sets where, like, before the end of the first quarter, the second quarter, third quarter, what's going wrong with the offensive possession for turning over?
Well, I mean, you can't turn the ball over. I think part of that was some spacing, and part of it's our ball handling. And, we've got to really I think that schematically we can look at a few things maybe to tweak to help them in those situations from tonight.
Talk about just the players need to take ownership in the locker room, needing to look inward, but you said 4 or 5, do you think kind of everybody needs to take a look inward at this point?
Yeah. I mean, obviously we do. I mean, that's my job. I mean, every single day I pick apart every single decision I make, and I know that our staff is working their tail off right now, 100%. But when we talk about, we got to have some of that in the locker room. We got to have some leaders emerge in our locker room right now, more than ever.
Coming down here to Huntsville, I know it was Middle home game decision. You guys had to reach. What was the experience like as far as Huntsville, and would you come back?
Well, it's been, other than the outcome of the game and, rebounding during the game, it was a really good experience, I think, for us. Everybody treated us great, and, it was a fun atmosphere to play in. We were able to drive down, so it was good to get here. It's an area that we don't get in a whole lot, so it was, I thought it was positive.
Jules Spears, a guard that can take over games when she gets on a roll, and it seems like Middle Tennessee was doing something defensively to not let her really get going. What did you think Middle did well to hold Jewel to just 3 points today?
Well, I thought they guarded her really well. They limited her touches, and then when she got the basketball, they pressured her and guarded her.
MTSU was able to get, I think, second and third quarter buzzer beater threes to end the quarter. Just how big of an emphasis is that for you moving forward to not only if you have the ball,
Yeah, I tell you that the back-to-back threes to end the second quarter were critical. We had probably an ill-advised shot that led to a transition three, and then we had a turnover that led to a three. And we've got to take some ownership. That's on us. You know, those two plays, we've got to do a better job on the other end of the court so that doesn't happen. But those were I thought those two in particular were critical.
Kelly, the Mills nice to have 4 scores in double digits tonight, now they're with 9. How much does it stretch your defense when you have to worry about so many threats to score the ball?
Well, they obviously part of that comes from those players are playing the bulk of the minutes, right? I mean, they're very rarely is middle going to win bench points, so they're going to get more shots, but they're efficient. I mean, they do a nice job of knowing who they are and what shots each of them needs to take.
With, Rikia out, not really sure she's back, Jillian out too, just where does, your folks go offensively to improve from, because I know defensively probably is, something to fix tonight, but just offensively, where do you think you can start make strides?
Yeah, we need to be able to continue to get the ball to the paint. A lot of times we're settling for threes. We've got to be able to get the ball to the paint, so we've got to keep working on that. Whether that's off the drive or off post touches, I think that's going to be really important. Jillian and Rakia both are two of our better rebounders, and there's no doubt that hurt. There's no doubt, but the players that are out there have to raise their game, regardless of who's on the court with them. They have to raise their game in that area because that's a all hands on deck stat right there for us.
Questions for Coach Caroline? Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.